Good afternoon, anti-novelists. It's Victoria with another video on plot coming to you from a very frozen cattle ranch in Missouri. I think the last temperature I saw was -8 with a feel of -23. Yipes. So I am hiding in the library like I do. And what better thing to do in the library than talk about plot? So let's get to it. On my big paper, this is a 2023 calendar, just like this desk calendar, which I folded in half. Everything in the library gets recycled. So I like to use this to draft out my classes on. And that's what I use to create the digitized version. So this is my plotter workbook for novel structure that's over in my course. I'll link it down below if you don't have it. It is a great resource to help walk you through some of the ideas that should be included in your book. Certainly you won't use all of them, but it's a really good springboard to think about different aspects that you could include. So let's get started and look closer. The first thing that I've listed here is to identify the story's dramatic question. The dramatic question is something that's generally answered with a yes or no. Will the couple get together? Yes or no. Will the group get together and pull off the big heist? Yes or no. It could be a maybe. Perhaps it's a partial yes, but they're going to have to go into the second book in order to completely answer the question. So that's a nice thing to keep in the back of your mind. What is the question that you need to answer for your character? Over here, I've made a couple of side notes. Anchor the character in the existing world, their life as it is now. What's their inner desire and their outer goal? And what are their hopes and fears? Those are things you want to show in the early chapters because it helps give your reader a reason to root for your character, right? Because they've started to get to know them already. So I've highlighted the hook and I've highlighted the inciting incident. And I've also used a little washi in order to remind myself that about 15% in to the book, I need to include the inciting incident. The inciting incident is something that sets the story in motion, right? Sometimes it's called a call to adventure. This is something that your character can't go back from. This incites them into action. It often pushes them out of their comfort zone. It shows clear stakes. Often this is referred to as the death stakes, but it doesn't have to be an actual death. It can be a psychological death, an emotional death, a professional death. There's lots of ways to kill your character without actually killing them. And you're establishing a rooting interest, right? Why does your reader root for this main character? This is how you make them fall in love with your main character. That's the purpose of your early chapters. Over here, another note. Character refuses the call. They have an argument against transformation or against changing. They're telling you why they shouldn't be the hero of the story. These are all reasons for protest. These are all things that show that your character is human, that they are conflicted, and maybe they don't want to make changes. Maybe there's a reason they're stuck where they are. That creates good early conflict, and that's a good story that people want to continue reading. A couple of other quick notes. The character arc is grounded in Act 1. The main character is reacting to a situation, trying to get oriented. So after this incident happens, whatever that is, then your main character is trying to make sense of things. This one says identify the stakes of the story, and I've got a little washi tape that says mom on it. This is a reminder to myself in my own story that I need to have a chapter about the mother character here. Down at the bottom, I've got all major characters are introduced or hinted at by the end of the first act, which is about the 25% point of the book. And that's what we refer to as the first plot point. The first plot point is often called crossing the threshold or the point of no return. The first plot point is the big thing that keeps your character from being able to go back. They must go forward into the story now. So let's look at the plotter tool and see what it says. In column A, I've got Act 1 and just some of the major hallmarks of the story. A reminder that Act 1 ends at 25% of the book, give or take. And then I've got Derek Murphy's 24 plot beats. He's an amazing writing coach, a terrific writer, and I love using his 24 plot beats as a reminder of things that could happen in the acts to drive the story forward. Then I've got my own column of prompts and plot beats, just things to think about that could help drive your story forward. And then I pulled some additional prompts and resources from K.M. Weiland, James Scott Bell, and Brandon Sanderson, whose names I've listed at the very bottom of this sheet. Go check them out. They're amazing writers in their own right, and they're awesome writing coaches. So definitely check out my resources. Go look up their stuff. So what we'll do next is we're going to go through Act 2, then 3, then 4. I will walk you through the major hallmarks of the 4 acts, and then we're going to start down in the weeds, and we're going to get into each one of these prompts and talk about ways that you could manifest those and use them in your story. By the time we finish with the plotting series, you will have a great skeleton that you can use to create the entire book that you're writing using just the 4 acts and the beats that you fill them up with. So I hope this was a good high-level look at Act 1. We'll continue with Act 2 in the next video. In the meantime, start getting those words on the page, go grab my plotting tool, and start filling in what some of these things could be for your own story. You never know what you might discover because my characters are constantly surprising me. So thank you for your time, stay warm, and I'll see you in the next video.